Everyone knows that the New York SAFE Act has nothing to do with making New York safer and everything to do with disarming average, everyday law-abiding citizens. And now we have proof. On its surface, the mental health provision in the New York SAFE Act may sound like a good thing. The problem is that it doesn't require that a qualified mental health professional find you or adjudicate you mentally ill in order to take your firearms away. Anybody can make that call just about, and that's happened. The New York Times had an article several months back that talked about how 34,500 New York citizens had been stripped of their gun rights under the SAFE Act's mental health provision without being adjudicated mentally ill by a mental health professional. The problem is getting worse. They're finding any excuse to take away gun rights for New York citizens. Listen to this nonsense. Donald Montgomery is a retired police officer who served also in the U.S. Navy, and he was diagnosed with insomnia and lost his gun rights. Listen to this story. Now, I don't want to mess this up, so I'm going to read it right off the statement that I have here. Retired cop sues New York State for confiscating guns after insomnia treatment. A decorated retired New York cop who served in the U.S. Navy is challenging New York's tough new SAFE Act gun control law, claiming in a lawsuit that his guns were confiscated after he was mistakenly diagnosed as mentally unstable after he sought treatment for a sleeping problem. Donald Montgomery's lawsuit contends that Governor Andrew Cuomo and other state officials violated his Second Amendment rights when his guns were seized after a brief hospital stay for insomnia. Montgomery, a cop for 30 years and a U.S. Navy veteran, brought the lawsuit in Rochester Federal Court on December 17th, according to the Daily Caller. The SAFE Act became law with little public debate after Cuomo convinced lawmakers that New York needed to do something after the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. Montgomery was the owner of 4 guns, a Colt .38 handgun, a Derringer .38, a Glock 26 9mm, and a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard .380. His troubles started when he visited a Long Island hospital in May, complaining of insomnia. He was discharged with a diagnosis of depression/insomnia, and then returned a short time later for a 48-hour stay. The lawsuit says that during that visit, staff erroneously listed him as an involuntary admission, triggering the SAFE Act reporting provision. Those deemed at risk for owning guns by mental health professionals have to be reported and their names entered into a database. The lawsuit claims Montgomery should not have been reported because he is not a threat to himself or to others. The suit says a hospital psychiatrist told him, "You don't belong here, and I don't know why you were referred here." So the mental health professional involved here doesn't even understand why that he doesn't think he's mentally ill. But New York State doesn't care because that's more guns they can snatch up and take away from law-abiding citizens. And it goes on. The Daily Caller reports that on May 30th, a week after his hospital stay, Suffolk County Sheriff's deputies confiscated Montgomery's guns. His pistol license was then suspended in June and revoked 3 months later. Montgomery is demanding in his lawsuit that the state issue written notification to all individuals whose names have been collected in the SAFE Act database. Last month, the Syracuse Post-Standard found nearly 39,000 names in the database, and that 278 of those were gun owners who were in danger of losing their firearms. The list of 278 included 16 in Suffolk County, where Montgomery lived. New York State has already taken the gun rights away from 34,500. That was several months ago. I'm assuming this database now is the updated numbers that the Post-Standard had in December. That means 39,000 New Yorkers are on that database. When it says 278 of those were gun owners who were in danger of losing their firearms, do not be tricked into thinking that only 278 out of that 39,000 are losing their firearms. It means 278 were the ones who hadn't been stripped yet. They're the ones who are in danger. The other ones already have. I'm going to put links in the description of this video. Just look down in the box down here and you can click the links. It's like an easy button for the gun confiscation video I did and for videos for a couple of New York citizens who have had their gun rights stripped, telling their stories of how that happened. It doesn't matter if you don't live in New York. This affects you. It's in Colorado, it's in Massachusetts, it's in Connecticut. It's all over the place. And if you don't think this is coming soon to a theater near you, you are absolutely incorrect. Look at every liberal, nonsensical thing that has ever happened. It starts in states like New York, but it always eventually makes its way to you. We need to take a stand now and stand together as firearms owners and stop this. Please share this video. Tell your friends about it. Like it. Subscribe. Do whatever you got to do to get the word out of what is happening here in New York State so that it doesn't happen to you in your state. I'm Van Prepper. As always, check me out on Facebook, on Tumblr, on Pinterest, on Instagram, and on YouTube, of course. Happy shooting, everybody.